Hello everyone. So this is Pinky Soni, who is a tax expert in Tax Mitra Global. So I look after the practical scenarios wherein the tax notices are coming in. So like one of the cases which is coming in during these days are with respect to 194 IB compliances. So in previous years, most of the employees or salaried employees or any professional who is not liable to audit but have shown rent which has been paid in during that financial year more than 50,000 or 50,000 in a month, so they are getting notices for not complying with 194 IB. So that is what we are covering over here, so that you have a clear understanding why this scenario is coming into picture. So, are you paying rent? Which in that case, you might be violating the law. What every individual HUF needs to know about Section 194 IB that we are going to discuss over here. So, if you are paying 50,000 or more as rent, this section will applies to you. So now coming to Section 194 IB in more with more clarity. So when are you liable for 194 IB? When you are an individual or HUF who is not liable to audit under Section 44 AB, and in your case you are paying rent 50,000 or more in a month to your resident landlord. Mark my word, it is mentioned as resident landlord. So it applies to whom? It applies to salaried employee, it applies to freelancer, business owner, or not claiming, who is not even claiming HRA in their case. So what are the rules? What 194 IB suggest? Like you can deduct the TDS annually once in a year, that is in the month of March or at the end of the lease. So unlike other TDS sections, you don't have to deduct TDS every month. Instead, you can deduct TDS once annually, that is in the month of March when the financial year ends or when your lease agreement with the landlord ends. So when you have to deduct the TDS, you can deduct it from the last month's rent payment. TDS rates, which has been applicable for 194 IB during financial year 24-25 was up to 30th September 2024, it was 5%, and October onwards, it was 2%. But from now, 25-26 onwards, it remains 2% on the rent payment, which you will be doing. So now for TDS, everyone thinks like they have to get their TAN applied. So in 194 IB, there is nothing like that. You can use your PAN for making such payments and filing the TDS returns. So now we can discuss on the compliance calendar, that is financial year 24-25. So TDS which has been deducted for last financial year in the month of March 2025, they need to file their Form 26 QC by 30th April 2025. And you also need to generate Form 16C for the landlords so that they can claim TDS for their rental income. So you have to share the Form 16C to the landlords within 15 days of filing of Form 26 QC. So now there are penalties if you don't comply with the same. So for late deduction, like if you don't deduct or if you have not deducted TDS up to 31st of March, so you are liable for 1% per month as interest. Now for late payment, for example, if you have deducted but you have not deposited it to the government, so in that case, late payment 1.5% per month interest would be chargeable. Now, there may be a scenario like you have deducted, you have deposited, but you have not filed your TDS return. In that case, 200 per day for non-filing of 26 QC, 200 per day penalty would apply, but that would be subject to the total TDS liability that arised during that financial year. Again, there is a penalty for non-issuance of Form 16C, which is 100 per day, and again that is up to the TDS amount. Now, if you are paying rent 50,000 or more, you could be violating tax law. So we are there to help you or assist you in case you want to check and stay compliant with Section 194 IB. 194 IB, as I said, applies to individuals and HUFs who are not subject to tax audit under 44 AB and who are paying rent of 50,000 or more per month to a resident landlord. So even if you're salaried or freelancer or not claiming HRA in their personal returns, this section will applies to you. TDS reduction rates, as we discussed, up to 30th September, it was 5%. Then it was 2% from October onwards, October 2024 onwards. So now the valid TDS rate under Section 194 IB is 2%. And as I said, again, TAN is not needed, just your PAN will work in this case. So at Tax Mantra Global, we assist individuals globally in simplifying TDS and income tax compliances, and with 750 businesses, a team of 150 experts, we ensure we don't miss any deadline or misinterpret a provision. So we have a compliance calendar for you. Like TDS deduction for 24-25, it should be done by March 2025 or when the lease agreement ends. File Form 26QC by 30th April 2025. Issue Form 16C by 15th May 2025. So we can help you in filing your TDS return if it is not done yet by 30th April 2025 to avoid another penalty for non-payment as well as non-filing of TDS returns. And we can again help you with generation of form TDS certificates in your cases. And to avoid penalties, you need to comply with the 194 IB on real-time basis. So now we can take real-time examples where we can check like how it works actually. So what we have come to know, what we have got to know like from many individuals who had filed their income tax returns for previous financial year, say financial year 22, 23 or 23, 24, they are receiving notices because in those notices they have claimed HRA for more than 50,000 per month as rent. You can see the notice which I'm which is reflecting in my screen, which says in financial year 22-23 this SSC has claimed HRA benefit of 8,68,000, which clearly says he has claimed he has shown 50,000 per month as rent, but he has failed to comply with 194 IB. So he has got a notice from the income tax department to file their updated return. So in that case, what will happen? Your excess HRA which has been claimed now without TDS deduction, 194 IB violation suspected. Action which is required is you need to file your updated return where your what can trigger in that case, it opens the reassessment in the desk of income tax department, and it also adds penalties, and it also results in loss of HRA, which results in additional income tax liability in your hand. Now who to deduct? How to deduct and file TDS properly? Deduct TDS in March, file Form 26 QC within 30 days through your income tax portal using your PAN. Now issue Form 16C to your landlord within 15 days by filing your 26 QC. And for record purpose, you should maintain all rent receipts and landlord's PAN as well. What are the key takeaways we can take from here? So TDS reduction is required when the rent per month is 50,000 or more. TDS rate, as I said, up to 30th September, it was 5%. And after that, it would reduce to 2%. And now in financial year 25-26, it is continuing as 2% only. One-time deduction. So for unlike other TDS deduction, you have to deduct this TDS one time annually. You have to file Form 26 QC as well as you have to issue Form 16C to the landlord to claim the TDS which you have deducted for such rent payments. And obviously to remain compliant, you can avoid penalties. So stay compliant and avoid penalties in that scenario. Now, what about if we take some examples for your better understanding? So, I have taken one example over here, which is salaried tenant in Bangalore. So, he is paying, Ramesh is paying 65,000 per month rent, and the landlord is resident Indian. So, all the requirements or eligibility criteria are met over here, and that such Ramesh is also not liable to tax audit under section 44 AB. So this section 194 IB is applying to him. What are the actions required? On 3,90,000, which is a cumulative value of 65,000 per month for 6 months, on that amount 5% TDS applies, because up to September it is 5%, and 2% TDS on 3,90,000, another 3,90,000 for the month of October to March, comes to 7,800. So what you have to do, you have to deduct this total amount of TDS from March month's rent and remit the rent to the landlord, net of TDS. So in this case, so there is a catch. For example, there is a rate change, and like up to September, you have to deduct 5%. So you can file two Form 26 QC for both the periods, because rates are different. So when you mention the date of deduction and date of credit as 30th September, then subsequently your filing of 26 QC date comes to 30th of October. And again, within 15 days, like by 14th of November, you have to generate TDS certificate. Again, for next 6 months tranche, you have to deduct 2% TDS, and in that case, you can pay 6 months rent, TDS on rent by 31st of October, and file your 26 QC by 30th of April. Subsequently, generate Form 16C and share it with the landlord. Now, this is a case where the rent is there for the whole financial year. Now, there comes a scenario where your lease agreement ends in between. So, for example, now in case of Priya, what is happening? Monthly rent is 52,000 and lease period is 1st April 2024 to December 2024. So, this is not covering the whole financial year, and tax audit also not applicable to her. So are you liable to deduct TDS under section 194 IB? Definitely yes. But what are the actions required? Again, 5% till September and 2% post that, but up to December. Now your TDS payment for next 3 months liability comes in the month of December and not in the month of March. Now you have to deduct 3120 for 3 months rent. You have to deduct in the month of December and make the TDS return filing by 30th of January, that is within 30 days from the date of deduction, and within 15 days from the date of filing you have to file you have to share the certificate with the landlord. So this is the scenario. Now in our case, where we have received a notice from the income tax department for claiming HRA and showing rent payment as more than 50,000 and 50,000. So in that case, notices are coming in to the assessees, wherein the department is chasing the assessee to file their updated return and show that HRA has been disallowed, file updated return, interest and penalty and additional liability of income tax would arise, and there may be a chance where further scrutiny will also come into picture. So what we understand from this is, like, even salaried individuals must deduct TDS if monthly rent is 50,000 or more. So this is where we have analyzed cases in the case of 194 IB, where most of the individuals who are salaried, they are deliberately showing rent more than 50,000 without knowing that they are violating 194 IB as well, to claim more HRA benefits, but they should know, like, this is triggering the income tax notices and also triggering the scrutiny cases in their cases, where they are liable for more additional, where they are liable for additional income tax liability along with the penalties and disallowances. So at Tax Mantra Global, with 40 years of legacy and presence across Singapore, India, US, UK, Dubai, we have seen every kind of cases from filing to defense. We help clients stay ahead of notices and penalty and compliances traps. So we can assist you in this regard. If you have any notices which are coming into picture because of these cases, you can definitely come to us. We, whether you need help with 26 QC, Form 16C, or any cross-border advisory or so, we can definitely help you, because tax should never be a trap. So here we end with this video. If I hope this will help you to understand 94 IB and you stay compliant and stay compliant within due dates to avoid any misinterpretation of provisions. We are there to help you. Thank you so much. Bye bye.